Rule 1. Pain is not your enemy. It is your master. You were taught to avoid pain, to run from it, to seek comfort, anesthesia, shortcuts. But the Spartans knew something you've forgotten. Pain doesn't just shape you, it reveals who you truly are. From the moment a Spartan boy was delivered to the Agage, he ceased being protected and began turning into steel. The cutting cold of dawn? Part of the process. The hunger burning in the stomach for days? Training, physical punishments, refinement, pain visited them daily. But instead of retreating, they embraced it as part of the mission. Now look at your real life. How many times have you quit halfway because it got too uncomfortable? How many doors have you never opened because you feared the pressure, the sacrifice, the exhaustion? Today, you live dodging pain. But every time you run from it, you also run from your own evolution. Pain is not your enemy. It is the price of greatness. While you keep avoiding small discomforts, someone else is bearing the weight of the impossible and becoming unbreakable. Question: will you keep running, or will you start using it as fuel? Rule 2. Stop seeking approval. Live to be worthy. How many of your decisions were made thinking about what others would think? How many no's have you swallowed just to avoid displeasing someone? How many times have you postponed your own dreams just to avoid criticism? Now, imagine this in Sparta. Imagine a warrior stepping back to hear opinions before attacking. Imagine Leonidas stopping the battle to ask if they were enjoying his performance. Ridiculous, isn't it? Because in Sparta, there was no audience, only battle and survival. The only approval that mattered was from oneself at the end of combat. While you waste energy trying to please those who will never carry your shield, the Spartans spent that same energy ensuring they wouldn't fall before their time. It's time to understand this. You don't need anyone's permission to fight for what you believe in. Live to be worthy of the one you see in the mirror. The rest, it's just noise that fades in the dust of the battlefield. Rule 3. Discipline above desire. Always. Do you know why so many fail? Because they only act when they feel like it. And desire is temporary. Desire sleeps in. Desire quits when it hurts. Desire does not survive in Sparta. There, no one asked if you were in the mood. Training began before the sun rose and ended only when exhaustion had already broken your knees. Why? Because they knew discipline doesn't depend on emotion. It is duty. When Leonidas and his 300 marched to Thermopylae, they knew death awaited them. And yet, they went with the same commitment they would have if victory was certain. The lesson! You don't need to be motivated. You need to complete the mission. Cold, afraid, exhausted. Because only those who move in the absence of desire are worthy of reaping the rewards of victory. Rule 4. Train so much that fear has no room to live. Fear is the natural reaction of those who are unprepared. When you fear a situation, a challenge, a battle, it's because deep down you know you didn't train enough. In Sparta, preparation was brutal. Every strike practiced until the muscles acted on their own. Every defense repeated until it became reflex. Every mental battle won before the real fight even began. Leonidas did not take 300 ordinary men to face the Persians. He took the best. He took those who had already killed fear with preparation. They didn't need to trust in luck. They trusted in themselves. And you? How many times did you feel fear simply because you didn't do your part? How many opportunities slipped away because you weren't ready? Fear exists, but when training is unshakable, fear has no space to grow. The question is not, do you feel fear? The real question is, have you trained enough to destroy it? Rule 5. Complaint is a sign of weakness. Picture this. In the chaos of battle, you hear someone saying, "This is too heavy! It's not fair! We're too tired! We can't do it!" Do you know what happened to that man in Sparta? He died, not only at the hands of the enemy, but because he weakened the entire formation. In Sparta, there was no room for complaints. And in your life, how many times have you stopped in the middle of the fight to complain? How many times have you wasted energy explaining why you couldn't, instead of simply doing it while you complain? Someone else is acting, and at the end of the day, life does not reward those who lament. It rewards those who fight in silence and move forward. So, next time you think of opening your mouth to play the victim, remember this: the weak make excuses, the strong take action. Rule 6. Emotions are weapons. Master them or be destroyed by them. Do you feel anger? Good. But do you know how to use it in your favor? Do you feel fear? Perfect. But does it move you forward or paralyze you? In Sparta, emotion was not weakness. It was a tool. A warrior without control over his emotions was as dangerous as an enemy inside his own walls. On the battlefield, there was no room for panic, for despair, for reckless impulses. The mind had to be as sharp as the blade. And today, how many times do you waste drowning in resentment? How many opportunities do you miss because you can't control fear? The Spartans didn't ignore emotions. They used them as fuel, and you must learn to do the same. Because if you don't master your anger, your fear, your doubt, they will master you. And the moment they do, the battle is already lost. Rule 7. Procrastination is a deadly enemy. Eliminate it, or it will eliminate you! In Sparta, delaying meant death. There was no room for later. The enemy doesn't wait. Danger doesn't schedule appointments. The battle doesn't send invitations. When opportunity arose, Spartans acted. When threats appeared, they were already prepared. Now, look at your own life. How many times do you repeat, "Tomorrow, I'll start. Next week, I'll fix it. When things get better, I'll try." While you procrastinate, your strength weakens, your discipline rots, and your dreams drift farther away like a horizon that never arrives. The Spartans lived knowing the only chance was now. There was no time to wait for motivation, the perfect mood, or inspiration. Procrastination is treacherous. It whispers that there's still time, but in the end, it buries you before you even enter the fight. So, I ask you, how many battles have you already lost before even fighting just because you delayed the first action? Remember, the weak put things off until tomorrow. The Spartans win today. Rule 8. The hardest war is against yourself. The greatest enemy of the Spartans was not the Persian army. It was not hunger. It was not the cold. It was their own minds. Every day, before the battle began, they faced the true challenge: doubt, laziness, the invisible fear. Because in the end, the external enemy only has power once you've already been defeated internally. Now think. How many times have you sabotaged yourself? How many times have you abandoned a goal because you believed the lies you told yourself? How many times have you been a prisoner of your own destructive thoughts? While you remain stuck on the mental battlefield, life moves on without waiting for your self-overcoming. The Spartans knew, he who masters his own mind can win any battle. He who loses to himself has already lost to the world. So, if today you woke up thinking about giving up, remember this. Your greatest enemy stares back at you in the mirror every day. Defeat him. Rule 9. Sacrifice is the price of glory. In comfort, nothing great ever happens. Ask Leonidas what he had to give up to be remembered in history. He sacrificed his own life without hesitation, without regret. Now look at yourself. How many dreams have you abandoned because you didn't want to give up a weekend? A few extra hours of sleep? A comfortable and predictable routine? The Spartans knew there is no conquest without surrender, no victory without loss. While the modern world sells you easy formulas, light routines, and instant results, true greatness demands real sacrifices. Renouncing distractions, abandoning excess, eliminating everything that doesn't strengthen you. The question is simple. What are you willing to sacrifice today to become who you were born to be? Those who fear sacrifice will never know glory. Rule 10. Accept death as a certainty. Only then will you begin to live. While you keep postponing plans, waiting for the perfect moment, running from risks, the Spartans woke up every day ready to die. And it wasn't pessimism, it was freedom! Because those who accept death as certain stop wasting time with fear, stop wasting energy on trivial things, and start living with absolute intensity. Leonidas and his 300 didn't know if they'd see the next sunrise, and that made them fight as if every second was their last. And you? How many days have you wasted thinking you had infinite ones left? How many projects have you shelved waiting for a security that will never come? Death is guaranteed. What you do before it is the only variable that matters. So stop waiting. Start acting like someone who knows time is running out, because it is. Rule 11. Focus on what you can control. Leave the rest behind. The Spartans would never waste time complaining about the enemy's strength, about bad weather, about unfair conditions. Do you know why? Because none of that was in their hands. They knew they could only control their own preparation, their own courage, their own discipline. The rest was just scenery. Now, what about you? How much of your energy is wasted on things beyond your control? How many hours have you lost debating problems that didn't depend on your will? While you get distracted by what you can't change, you stop acting on what you can. The Spartans taught the battlefield is won first, inside the mind. Focus on what is within your reach. Improve what only you can improve. What slips from your hands doesn't deserve your worry. Rule 12. Build a legacy or be forgotten. The names of the 300 still echo. Leonidas became eternal. It wasn't by chance. It wasn't because he sought fame. It was because he accepted to fight for something greater than himself. And you? Are you living just to pay bills and collect small comforts? Or are you building something that will leave a mark on the world? The final question isn't how much did you earn? It's who will remember you, and for what? The Spartans understood that life is far too short to be small. So look at your story. Do you want to be just another, or remembered as someone who lived like a true warrior? Glory is not in what you accumulate. It's in the impact you leave, and that impact begins today, now. In this very moment when you decide to fight or to quit, the choice is yours.